see the world and sail the seven seas. Wanna be free, unveil some mystery. Ancient times have passed me by, there will remain. Hold my eyes under the open sky, but here life guides me to my destination. Sail set high, I passed the key. Easter and feast, they stood so silently. Faith in fools under the
Hey everyone, if you're new to my channel, my name is Thomas Dawson, and if you're one of my 5 subscribers, welcome back. So today I am going to a spot called Triple Falls, and basically it took me 2.5 hours to get to the spot right by the trail from Victoria, and it's near Englishman River Falls, just to give you a little bit of reference. I'm not sure if it's actually in Errington, but if not, it's very near Errington. So the first thing I want to tell you about coming to Triple Falls is that in the past there has been problems with people trespassing on this person's property. They have a house up on the hill over there. So as you can see, they've made a little point, just a hint, of putting all those branches across there because people used to go down this road right here to get to the falls. So you don't want to do that. You're going to want to go further down here. And as best as I understand, this trail that's coming up right here, and I see there's a little notice on it, so we'll see what that's all about. But as far as I can tell, this trail here is not on their property. And yes, it says follow green ribbons, public access. Okay, so we're good. Now the next thing I want to mention is that Triple Falls is in my Vancouver Island waterfall ebook, which features 28 of Vancouver Island's best accessible waterfalls. And by accessible, that simply means that you can get to them all by trail and they're not super difficult. Now it's October 15th, 2019, and the reason I made a 2.5 hour trip up to this area is because fall colors have been particularly nice this year. Just show you over to the side here, and so I'm really hoping that down by the waterfall that there is some nice fall colors. And the reason I suspect there is because when I was here making doing the directions and taking some photos for my waterfall ebook, it was November 1st, but there was just a bunch of dead leaves all around the waterfall, so I got there a little bit late, and it's very nice down here right now. So that looks pretty promising. So if I can get some shots with some nice fall colors in it, that will be a bonus. All right, I'll pick up in just a little bit. Okay, once again, please respect the private property signs, and you're going to want to go down this trail that goes down the hill right here. So it's going to be a little bit slippery, so I'm going to put the camera down so I can concentrate on getting down there safely. So the trail isn't too steep or anything, but it is a little muddy and slippery, as I find out firsthand. The sun's even been peeking out a little bit in this area, and it was pretty clear, or sorry, not clear, but it wasn't raining up in Victoria when I left, but it was raining pretty hard through Nanaimo. So anyhow, this will give you an idea what the trail is like. Very typical Vancouver Islandish ferns and some nice trees. And as I'm coming down one of the last hills, you can see tons and tons of maple leaves on the ground already, but I can see there's still some left in the trees. So if there's a combination of some leaves on the ground and on the trees like you can see over here, that would be ideal. So not even 10 minutes down the trail, depending how fast you walk, of course, you'll hit a little junction where you can go left or you can go right. And if you go left, you'll come down to a smaller waterfall. If you go right, that'll be the main waterfall that people are here to shoot. Now it looks like as I look around here, there's doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of water down there, but I'm gonna find out in just a minute. And from this junction, both waterfalls are really close. Like, we're talking about a minute or two. Well, that looks kind of neat. I'll show you in just a second here. This is a little slippery. A little bit of a hop down. Okay, so can't even see the waterfall at the moment, so it looks pretty small, but that pond with all the leaves, that looks kind of cool. And there are some fall colors over there, so what I will do is I'm going to go down here. Let's just walk over here and see just how much water there is. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. But again, I'll turn the camera around. Some neat moss. Some little natural steps. It's nice down here, but it's going to be pretty hard pressed to get a waterfall shot here since there isn't much of a waterfall, but I will go down a little bit further here and just see what I can come up with. So I'll get back to you in just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to give you a first impression view of this spot. As you can see, the maple leaves are really beautiful. The water is really dark right now. And there's just, you know, basically a trickle, almost more like a weeping wall at the moment. So I think it's going to be worthwhile to get the camera out and see if I can get some shots, because I just really like the color of these maple leaves in this pond. And there's a little bit of fall color here and there, but not a lot. So I'd say if I would have got here a week ago, it would have been more ideal. But you gotta love the combination of the orange and yellows of the leaves and that really nice moss. I really like that. So I'm gonna see what I can do to get a shot. And of course, anytime that I take shots that I like, sometimes that I don't even like, so I could point out some flaws of a photo, I will definitely post them on here. But yeah, it's really like that fall color right there, but I don't know if I'll be able to incorporate that in any way. But anyway, I'm gonna set up. I'll get back to you guys in a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I've come up with for my my first composition. So I'll get right beside the camera here, so it's basically the same shot. Obviously I want to get some of these foreground leaves in. I've got a little bit of a sweeping curve right here, which I like. And just so you know, I cheated a little bit. There's mostly brown and orange leaves in the water, so I found a few yellow colored leaves just to add a little bit more color to it. If you think that's cheating, that's fine, but personally I don't think doing things like that's a big deal. Anyhow, the first composition I did, I centered more on this waterfall here, the one that's a little bit more prominent, and I am cropped closer than what you're seeing on my GoPro. And then the second composition, I tried to center both of the little cascades in there. Also trying to get some of that fall foliage up there. Obviously there's not a lot of it, so not that terribly important. The most important thing is to get the nice combination of these leaves, and also trying to get a nice angle on the leaves. Because for instance, if you're way down here, sometimes that can work for certain foregrounds, but I wanted to be up here to get the leaves in there a little bit more prominently as well. And the last thing I just want to mention is that for one shot I focused on the waterfall itself, so that was a nice sharp image. And when I did that, however, these were a little out of focus, and so I did a second exposure where I focused on the leaves, so I can blend those together later in Photoshop to get a nice sharp image throughout. So I want to give you another tip, and this really applies to waterfalls, but just out shooting in general. A lot of people, I'll just call them lazy shooters, they come to a scene like this. The first thing they do is they look at the waterfall and become in love with the waterfall. Totally understandable, but they'll just try and get a nice clear shot of the waterfall, and that's their main objective. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you want to kind of step it up a little bit and get more interesting shots, you'll look for a nice foreground. But the next thing, when I come to a location, I check it out from all angles, and I mean, I'm going to check it out from above, from the side here. As you can see, this kind of looks kind of neat from this angle here, so there could be a shot. Now there are some weaknesses. For instance, if I get down here, you see a bunch of black, and just in the upper area, the leaves. I don't really particularly care for that, and I can only back up so far, but I really like what I see further down, you know, that nice fall color I was showing you earlier. And you know, there's a little, almost looks a little bit misty from here. So if I could get a nice shot close up like this and eliminate some of this darkness down here, that could be a worthwhile shot. So always check your scenes out from all different angles, and you might be surprised, you might find a really great shot that if you just stood over there, like most people will, you might come away with a shot that you really like that's also unique. So I'm going to see what I can do, get a couple interesting shots from here, and again, if one of them turns out, I'll show you in the video later on. Okay, so before I move on to the upper part of the falls, I'm going to give you some tips. A, if you're out in fall and you're shooting on Vancouver Island, bring an umbrella because it has started to rain a little bit. B, and I've pointed this out on other videos, get yourself some good rubber boots that have felt lining so they're nice and comfortable, so you can walk for quite a distance in them, which I can in these. They're a little heavy, of course, but comfort-wise, they're not too bad. Now, the next one I want to point out, and this is a good example here, is to try getting your shot at different levels. What I mean by that is try to get your shot from up here, see how that looks. Try different angles, see how that looks. But also, get down really low and see how that looks. For instance, this little part here is quite a neat little component to add. And one other tip, bring lots of cleaning cloths, because again, if it's raining and you're going to get close to, for instance, down here like I was, you're going to get water droplets. You're going to need to clean your lens or your polarizer quite frequently. And I might as well add what might be the obvious to some people, have a polarizer, because there's a lot of glare here. How much polarization you use is your personal taste and discretion, but I definitely use the polarizer to reduce the white and the glare on the water here. So let's move up top there and see if there's an interesting angle up there. I did in fact find a composition that I quite like from up here, and I will give you the gist of it. Let me just get down here. So basically, the one that I liked the most was a vertical. So it's getting all that beautiful fall color in there, all the leaves, and this little cascade, all the beautiful moss. So pretty happy with that in the, at least in the viewfinder. So it'll be interesting. I took a horizontal too, which this will give you a basic example of what I shot. And yeah, I think there's a lot of elements that I quite like about this photo. So we will see how it turns out when I get it on my computer. And of course, don't you dare come and stomp my comp, because if you do, I'll be coming after you. Don't think I won't. Anyhow, I'm going to move over to the next waterfall over there. I'm just kidding, by the way. But it is kind of funny how you see certain people taking certain images and all of a sudden everybody else is going copying it. It's all fair game, but photographers never like to see their photos totally copied. But again, it's just the way it goes. Anyhow, I'm going to go over to the main waterfall over there. It's raining a little bit again. Hopefully the water level will be okay. We shall soon see. So moving on to a review of the photos. I like this shot in that it does tell the story of a nice fall day, but the one glaring weakness in my opinion would be the fact that the waterfall is a little bit too small in the photo and there wasn't a lot of water flow. I like this shot a little bit better than the last one because the waterfall is more prominent and you do have those beautiful fall leaves in the pond, which I think really makes this a nice colorful shot. I was pretty happy with these angle shots. I guess the main weakness would be just the lack of water flow and the very large dark area on the pond. It would have been nice if there was a few more leaves, but overall I did like this one. Now between the horizontal shot and the vertical, I probably like the vertical because it does have less of that dark area in the pond area, and it shows a little bit more of the leaves in the upper tree area up top, so that one turned out pretty good, I think. This one's probably my favorite because even though there was a lack of water in the waterfall, it doesn't seem quite so obvious in this shot where I got really close to the little cascades, and then the fall colors in the background. I really like those. So this is probably my favorite shot from the day. Now this last shot here was taken the year previous, and I just wanted to include one shot which will show you what it looks like when there is a much higher water flow in this particular area of Triple Falls. Well, this is disappointing. There is no waterfall. Normally, in case you've never seen Triple Falls before, that whole area is a waterfall. In this lower area, that's all a cascade, as I will include one of my old photos just to show you that I'm not making these things up. But yeah, it's really surprising. I wasn't expecting it to be this pathetic, but it's quite a shame because look at the beautiful fall colors I could have incorporated into the shot. Anyhow, that's the way it goes. And so again, if there had been more rain, and if it would have been a week earlier, that would have been really great. If the water was flowing, this would be a really good shot, and that's obviously what I did have in mind, but obviously it's not going to happen this time. Next year maybe. So, what can I say? That's it. Video's over. If you enjoyed the video, please click on like and subscribe. And if you want to see future videos of some Vancouver Island waterfalls, some fairly well known, some intermediate, some completely unknown, you might want to subscribe to my channel, because that's the kind of things I do. So I guess that's it from what was Triple Falls. Signing off for now from Vancouver Island. This is Thomas Dawson. Thanks for watching. Bye. Last but not least, here's a shot of Triple Falls from the previous year when there was a really nice water flow.